Good morning, Rizpah watchers. I know I haven't posted anything for a while, and partly it's because of the holidays. I was really busy, and other times it was just I didn't feel that there was anything that the Spirit of God wanted me to release to you by video. So today I'm going to look at something that I feel like is going to be an encouragement to you, is going to help you as you watch over your family and your children uh, and pray with us for our family and for our children. Let's look at Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 27. Now, this is the parable Jesus told about the two builders. I'm reading from the New International Version. It reads, "Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash." When you look at this story or this parable that Jesus told, you notice that there are two builders. There's the wise builder and there is the foolish builder. Notice that the wise builder heard the word. He took the word of God, applied it to his life, and practiced it, the word tells us. And then he built his house based on that word, based on that firm foundation. And then it says that he built his house and then the storm came. If you'll notice, there is an intensity to the storm. It says the rains fell. We can have a gentle rain, and it waters the ground, and you see the effects, but it's not devastating. But notice it said, then the streams rose. In other words, now we have got a torrential downpour, and now the rivers and the streams are rising and causing flooding. And for those of you that have been in areas where there have been tremendous flooding, you understand this. You see how that can be devastating. But then it grew in intensity again. And this time it says the winds blew and beat against the house. These are tornado or hurricane force winds. Winds that do devastating damage when they blow in. And we've seen that especially over the last few months. We've seen the devastation that tornadoes and hurricanes can have in neighborhoods and on homes. But it says that this came and it beat against the man's house, but the house stood. Now again, this is not talking about a literal house. This is talking about the person. They stood their life on the Word of God. They heard it, they applied it, and they practiced it. And the storms came. But then let's look at the foolish builder. He heard the Word of God, but didn't apply it and didn't practice it. Just sort of passed it off. Maybe said, oh, that's not for me, or it don't apply to me, or just didn't think anything about it. Just, as we would say in South Georgia, it went in one ear and out the other. It didn't mean anything. He built his house, but his foundation was a foundation of his own making. His foundation was of sand, something that is not sturdy. Sand, if you've ever gone to the beach and you see the waves come in, sand moves. And it will move in one direction or another. It flows with the tide. Whatever the tide is, that's what it's going to do. And that's the way this man's house was built. This is the way his life was built. He went with the tide, whatever happened. And it says he encountered the same set of circumstances. He encountered the rain. And then the rain became a torrential rain that brought about flooding. And then from the flooding, it brought about tornado or hurricane force winds that beat against him. And it said his house did not stand. He did not stand. This is telling us that if we are going to stand in the midst of a storm, regardless of what happens, we need to have a firm foundation on the rock of the Word of God. Not only do we need to hear it, we need to apply it, and we need to practice it. One thing I want you to realize is that the Word applied and put into practice doesn't stop the storms from coming, but it will secure you in the storm. It's going to keep you up. It's going to hold you steady. The Word of God will hold you steady. We're all going to encounter storms. We're all going to encounter things in our lives. But know that when you hear the Word, apply the Word, and practice the Word, you are building on a firm foundation of the Word. And even though the storms come, you will be secure and you will make it through the storm. God bless you today. May God's face shine on you. May He turn His eyes towards you and give you peace in this day. God bless you.